Well, hello, I'm Sam.
And I'm Miguel.
Okay. Well, I got you kind of know about this one because you kind of looked at it, but
Yeah, so funny enough, Sam and I try not to tell each other what we're going to be looking up that week or that day, and we ended up researching the same thing together. How odd.
that was great though. Um, so this is the water babies of Massacre Rock, or like just Massacre Rock in Idaho.
Right.
Um, I saw like it on TikTok. It's like one of those spooky ones. I'm pretty sure it's like an AI that generates like what they would look like if you like put in the description or something.
Right.
Um, but it looked pretty interesting, especially Idaho. But it is a legend. But they say that Massacre Rock is haunted. Um, it is like across the Oregon Trail,
Mm-hmm.
um, which Idaho is. That's one of like the big parts of. I'd say the Oregon Trail is Idaho. It went right through it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one of our cool things, I guess. If you really.
Fun fact, I-84 that runs through all of
Yep.
Idaho follows pretty much Oregon Trail to a T.
Yeah, that's exactly. I said now I-84.
But, okay, continue on.
Mm. It got its name from the narrow passage of boulders. Um, just because it's so narrow that the settlers were scared of being ambushed
Mm-hmm.
by Native Americans. That's not like obviously it's not like confirmed by anything, but like that's what like the thought process would be.
Uh-huh.
The thought process would be that yeah, I mean you see old Western movies and they come around that counter and they're like, oh, we've been surrounded, you
Those
know?
racist movies, I know.
But I mean, it would make sense. Like, you don't want to have the lower hand on any kind of
Dude, it's
like
just like
vantage
any
point.
other game, bro. You don't want to give up the high ground.
Exactly. But it's if you know Idaho, it's like kind of like Pocatello-ish area.
Where's that
Um,
at in Idaho?
what is that? Never eat. Never eat soggy waffles. East, Eastern Idaho.
Eastern Idaho, right?
Um, and then yeah, so uh, but anyways, what it is, it's for Native American folklore. Jeez. Um, and it's a race of, so it depends. So they have it where it's just that they're spirits or ghosts, but then they also say that they're like a dwarfed, like has fins and gills mutated child, because apparently what had happened is that there was a mass famine going around, and they felt so bad that they didn't want their kids to starve, so they were like the mothers were told to take their babies down to the water and drown them,
Mm-hmm.
so that they didn't. So pretty much it was what, like a mercy, like I don't know, like a mercy killing
I
almost.
guess I guess you could call it a mercy killing, yeah, but
Yeah,
that's pretty. I couldn't even imagine.
dude. Why would also like they said like it said like mothers. Why would you make somebody do that?
Yeah, dude, have your neighbor do it or something at least.
Like how? I don't know how you would say like yeah the mothers had to do it. Like at least like somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, oh my gosh.
but
Um.
isn't it crazy, like how many stories there are of like mothers and drowning their kids?
Well, and I think that's a part of when you have a kid. They're like so like about postpartum that they're like, if you get frustrated, like it's okay. Like set your kid down and walk away. Like put them down in a safe area. If you have to, put like headphones on. Like I remember that, like in the baby care class.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
they did tell us that.
if you have to put on soundproof headphones, like like you can see that, like give yourself some time. But I mean, think about it. You're getting something scream, like especially call. Think about all the things we can do now to like help. a baby not cry?
Yeah, there's so many things, but like imagine back in that day, um, when like there's so little known about babies. I don't know actually. There might be.
Well,
I'm pretty sure people. It was like, what was it? My parents did it this way, so this is the right way, and then that just
yeah.
continues on, and then it
Mhm.
becomes like a tradition, or like
Mhm.
it becomes fact after a certain amount of generations.
Yeah. Well, then it also is like natural like instincts, you know?
100%.
Like and now like you have so many things of like, oh, this sound means this sound means that. Obviously somebody has learned that over time and you can listen to that and like they've done studies on mass like amounts of babies. But beforehand you would just have like that either that intuition or a village. It takes a village to grow like to raise a child. You would be like, oh, I've had these other kids. That sound is food. That sound is it needs to burp, you know?
Yeah, I bet it was passed down. See, I'm trying to think like I didn't know those association or those noises you were telling me about.
Mm-hmm.
When we first brought our daughter home,
Mm-hmm.
you were saying, "Oh, that sound means she's hungry," and then she made another sound, and it sounded pretty identical. You're like, "Oh, that means like she has to burp or something."
Mm-hmm.
I I feel like I still don't hear that, but like now I think maybe getting better at it.
Mm-hmm.
But
But I
I
think
think
it's
it helps me more now that she's like on a schedule.
oh,
Like we
100%.
know her schedule, or you know it more than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, definitely that stuff might get handed down. Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, like just hear like I think that's why there's a lot of lore of like they like drown their kids. Like the crying, like don't get me wrong, like it can be a lot. And it can really like just be like I mean, it happened to where hey, like I need you to take over. Like I cannot like my brain hurts. Like it's shaking baby syndrome, you know?
Yeah. How did that even become a thing? Like,
Well, I'm guessing like it's like an instinct. Like you want something to stop. Like if a baby's crying so much, you or like an alarm's going off, you instantly want to turn it off. With a baby, you can't just turn it off.
you can, but you might go to jail.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. So like, uh, oh, yeah. There's. I'm guessing that's a part of it, and moms usually are the ones that primarily take care of the baby, like traditionally wise, like
That
in the
is
past.
true.
So I'm guessing that's why moms get a lot of heat.
I'm assuming still to this day, it's primarily moms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. But from what I see, it seems to be like primarily moms that really take that role into it. Definitely dads out there. I'm not,
Yeah.
excluding the dads here, single dads at all.
Mm-mm. No, and that's a whole single parent.
Bro, don't even get me started on a single parent. I don't know.
I don't know how people do it. Freaking shout out to single parents, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Jeez. But anyways, back to it. Um, but yeah, so they believe that these kids that were drowned
Right.
either mutated into these fish babies and
Nice.
or they are spirits or ghosts because obviously like which I wonder if they almost think like I wonder sturgeon isn't in the what river is it? I think I said what
There's
river.
sturgeon in the Snake River.
Yeah, it is the snake, huh?
Yeah, there's sturgeon in
Yeah.
there.
I wonder if that's like maybe like those big old fish. They were like, oh my gosh, they're like little babies, like because they're huge, you know. Or catfish. I don't know. Maybe they just. I wonder how that became a like a thing. Like, cause what you would technically think you saw it, right? Like that's how the lore like
Yeah, that
how
lore goes pretty deep.
cause yeah, cause like how would you kind of like the Loch Ness monster stuff like that like people have seen something to come up with that story.
Yeah, but then
So what do
it's
you think it is? Like, is it something that we've already seen in this day and age,
I don't
or is it
know.
your or these like moms' minds like just playing tricks on them?
Dude, like I'm uh, I don't know. It's hard to say because like I can totally imagine you just lost your child, like the tribe leader, the chief, just told you to go drown your kid.
Yeah, pretty much drown your kid or hit the road.
Yeah, get out of
Or
here.
you're
We
you're
can't we
killed.
can't feed
Yeah.
them, you know?
Yeah.
Get on out of here, bub.
Yeah.
Um like especially like if it's not your own decision,
Mm-hmm.
what that you would spiral into, you
Yeah.
know?
And yeah, but either way, people say you can like hear them crying like day or night. And I
Mhm.
thought that was spooky.
Yep.
Day or night. A lot of things happen at night, but saying that you can hear it during the day, but I wonder if it's like see, that's the other thing I also think about, like, well, what if it's like the whistles between the narrow rocks and all that stuff that, how, if you live in Idaho, how bad the wind can get sometimes.
Especially in eastern Idaho, dude.
Especially eastern
Like
Idaho.
60, 80 miles an hour, easy.
Yeah, so it's like, you could, and if it's a narrow passage, you would think, yeah, you could hear maybe some whistling or some almost screaming sound through those rocks.
Dude, I'm getting
And
chills right now thinking about it. Oh, God.
I know. And also there's lava rock in eastern Idaho because of the volcanoes.
Right.
And
Good old Yellowstone. What's up, baby?
what's up?
Shout out.
Craters of the Moon. Made
Shout
my leg a hamburger on that one. But it's like, I don't know. I just think the crying could be explained with a lot of wind
You
that
sound
we have.
exactly like the rest of them.
I know, but I know, but obviously something traumatic like that can hold a lot of like.
Wait, dude.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go back to the sounds. Have you seen the photos of the state park?
Yes.
Of Massacre Rock State Park.
Yes.
So if you're listening, look up Massacre Rock State Park.
Mm-hmm.
They did call it a narrow passage, but from the photos that I saw,
I think it's narrow comparatively to other areas.
right. But I guess my point is like, I've been on the Snake River many, 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 many times.
Fishing.
Just fishing, catching hogs all day. And I have never heard a whistle.
So, yeah, I'm just looking at my notes here. But yeah, they like say that they'll like almost like cry out for help, so it will like lure you in.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty interesting because I mean, you gotta take revenge, But then a baby doesn't even know about that. I don't know. That's the other thing of like supernatural things of like when they're like, oh, a kid like tries to lure to your death or something. You're like, well, does a kid have that kind of like mentality? A baby.
I think maybe a pure baby, no.
Well, yeah. If there were drowning babies.
But let's take this for instance.
Mm-hmm. Like, say they had to dry a 3-month-old. They wouldn't know that.
Okay, yeah, let's say you drown that 3-month-old and it dies,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or its spirit dies. I don't know if you believe, like, what if once you die, like, your consciousness goes away?
Mm-hmm.
What if a different consciousness took over?
Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah. I don't know. Because it's hard to think about them, like, dragging you in when, I don't know. I see, like, some kids, like, especially what we've already talked about, nature versus nurture,
Right.
But, or if it's not that they're helping, like, they're not luring you in, that you wanting to help a baby is, so you almost are doing it to yourself. And I think maybe we give it too much of, oh, they're luring it in. If you hear a baby cry, you're gonna go towards it. So it's just like a normal response.
Possibly,
if that's making sense. But yeah, I'm trying to see if there's I mean, worries are just, it's simple. It's nothing too crazy, nothing too I mean, Idaho, man. There's not, it's like enough to make you just want to stay for a little bit and then move away,
Very true.
At least hopefully.
I was also reading that, like, so water babies is what they're called.
Yeah.
in Shoshone culture, which is primarily Shoshone, or I don't
And
know if it's
Bannock.
pronounced Shoshone or Shoshone, no idea.
And then Bannock.
And the Bannock peoples, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they primarily had these lands out
Mm-hmm.
here. And I was reading somewhere that it's like, it's definitely not something to joke about.
Well,
Like,
think
it's,
about Hispanic culture. La Llorona,
yeah,
water babies.
I joke around that shit all the time, dude.
Dude, I. It's interesting that it's across different cultures,
And not even that,
different
per se,
areas.
different tribes, different nations.
Yes.
It is like water babies are a thing
Yeah.
across multiple civilizations.
Mm-hmm. Which is so weird.
Yeah.
But is it all? Did you see if it was all from the same concept of like famine and where they had to drown their babies,
The
or?
idea is similar. Obviously, I don't think the famine's like the same deal,
Mm-hmm.
but the idea is similar, which is well, sad, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, and I think that is a part of like yeah Llorona. Why can't I say that right? What?
La
I can't.
Llorona?
Yeah, I can't speak today.
It's alright.
I'm just gonna be tongue tied for the rest of the night. She we could definitely do a thing on her. I mean, there's a lot of things and a lot of like women in white. Like, there's a lot of different like things, but it was mostly like she just went mad. Like, she just lost it.
I don't know, like, all of that history about her. I've heard, did I ever tell you about that time that I think I saw her?
Yes. I mean, we might as well just say it because you brought it up.
Oh my gosh, dude! As soon as okay, I'm about to get chills, bro.
I know, because
So
you were in Mexico, right?
let me set the mood here. Okay, it was a dark and eerie night. Okay,
Nothing
I
like right now. Nothing.
nothing like right now. I think we when I was a kid we went to Mexico 2 different times. One when I was like 4 or 5, and then one when I was like 8 through 10. I'm gonna say one of those times. I don't know which time it was, but it was definitely one of those times. Um, and we were there for a little while, and I remember my cousin, or my uncle, can't remember which uncle, he had this blue minivan. And we all piled in to go to El Centro, which is like a marketplace
I was gonna say
over there in Mexico.
Mhm.
Um, or it was like a marketplace for a town. So it wasn't like the one marketplace in Mexico. It was just where people went to. It was like the mall. It was pretty cool. But I remember we spent the whole day there. We got like tortas, we got food, we got paletas, we got,
Dude, food sounds great.
dude, food's good, man. I was having a great day. Um, that night there were fireworks. It was like I don't know what holiday. I don't know
Uh,
what day it was.
I mean, you went what during it? I
Definitely
mean,
wasn't during. It was outside of the school year for sure. So I
so
don't
it's
know.
what, summer?
Summertime. And at the night there was like fireworks. It was really cool. I couldn't tell you what, like, I have memories of it. I don't know exactly. I just remember seeing people on stilts, and that was really cool. Anyways, we all pile it back into the car to go back to my grandma's house. Okay, and at this time it's dark. The fireworks are already lit,
Mm-hmm.
and we start driving. And over there in Mexico, not a whole lot of paved roads,
Mm-hmm.
so it's all pretty bumpy dirt roads. And I'm like smack in the middle of the second row. It's a 3-seat van. I'm smack in the middle of the second row behind, or in between the driver and the passenger in the front seat. And we're driving. My uncle was driving, and I remember I was just looking around, and it's dark,
Yeah.
out in the rural areas of Mexico. Okay, and I remember it right now in my head so vividly. Oh my god, I'm getting chills right now, dude.
Freaks me
It
out.
was, oh my god, I'm getting chills, bro, remembering it. I saw this like white figure, like, had a little bit of blue vibrance,
Mm-hmm.
but it was white and barely visible. and it looked like a lady wearing a white dress. And
Dude,
she turned her head over, and we drove right through her. Dude, dude, dude,
that gives me goosebumps.
dude. I remember that to this day. Like, and I don't remember like if anybody else in the van saw it. I'm pretty sure they did. I'd have to ask my dad again if like he remembers it. He's probably gonna say no, just because he's like, no, I don't remember that.
He's like, no, don't want to talk about it.
Dude, just thinking about like, oh, it's so vivid in my mind. Just being so young and seeing it, oh, it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's
so that's my
crazy.
story about La Llorona.
But I think, yeah, I mean, and if you have that throughout all of these cultures, like those kind of like beliefs, then yeah, water babies are gonna come out of it.
Right, and how common do you think famines were? Right, agriculture
So,
probably didn't become a huge thing,
well, yeah. I'm thinking about how much crap we have to use, or what we do use, just so it does come out. Like,
and all the science behind it. They're not natural. Like corn, what it used to be, to what it
oh
is
yeah,
now.
isn't that crazy?
The craziness of it, dude.
Yeah,
Like
it's
corn used to be like, I don't know, 15 different little corn buds.
yeah,
And now we have our picture perfect yellow corn on the cob. That shit ain't natural, bro.
dude, but it smacks. Especially, oh man, this time of year, corn. It's corn.
Dude, corn is pretty tasty. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of corn, to be honest.
You've been smoking it. It's been really good. I'm a smoker.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's pretty cool that we have something here in Idaho that's pretty close. I mean, Pocatello is like what, like few hour, like quite a few hours
Three and
away.
a half, 4 hours, yeah.
But it's kind of cool to have something so close, like right next to us, that has that history. But I mean, it's not cool that there was famine and stuff. But
Right.
it's it's just interesting how like where you are, there's always a ton of like history around you.
Right.
Even though like our, like especially being in Idaho, like there's not as much history as like back east, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But because this is relatively newer, but it was pretty intense. I thought it was, short and brief and fun to look at, but I don't know.
Cool.
I think. Do you have anything else though? Because I was looking, I was trying to read. I do see that you had something about Pyramid Lake in Utah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have.
So this goes back. I think that was the Ute people. Ute. Oh,
Okay.
it's a pretty similar story.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much all of North America, they have the same story of like water babies, but
Yeah.
they all have different origins. What did I have written down?
This one says that it was deformed or sickly babies were often thrown into Pyramid Lake to reduce the burden of on the tribe.
Right, but the idea is where like they would get rid of those sickly babies, right, for the burden,
Mm-hmm.
to get rid of the burden, but those babies evolved and morphed
Yeah.
into
vengeance-seeking monsters.
right. In like other tribes, I have a list of tribes there. Other tribes
Yeah, you have
or
yeah.
other civilizations,
Mm-hmm.
they believe that those babies, some were vengeful, like the Ute people, and others were just mischievous, like nothing crazy. They would just fuck around a little bit. You're like, oh, you're swimming? I'm gonna bite your pinky toe, bro.
Yeah, well, it says that once a year, at least for the Pyramid Lake, you had once a year they go after unsuspecting white men and drag them beneath the depths.
Honestly, how can you tell the color of a person? You know.
In water, I mean, the only
Also,
thing is
why? Like, I don't know. I put that on there because it was like
that's
kind
what
of
it
funny.
said. Yeah, I
Kind of funny, you know. But it's just like,
yeah,
you throw a baby into a lake, it's not really gonna know white, black.
it's not gonna know that
It's
stuff.
not gonna know
If
that.
anything, I would see if it being white, because have you seen, of course, me and my freaking
Or the colonizers,
mom,
they destroyed their native lands.
Well,
Oh
what
my
I'm
God.
saying is like
Oh.
a scientific aspect. White, lighter colors are easier to see with the UV rate, like with light.
Oh, easy, dude.
So
Same with
lighter
fishing.
skin would technically be easier to see than darker skin.
100. That's a very fair point, dude. Because on bright sunny days, I use bright lures.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you would know that, especially with all your different lures. I looked it up and read about it based off of what we should put our kid in for swimming in a pool so she's easily visible.
Oh, really? Is she just gonna?
Just so you know,
You think
she's
she's
never
just gonna?
wearing a blue or purple swimsuit. But
No,
yeah, there's
dude.
different colors that how it looks. Just
Where the
looks
hell
different.
did you go?
Well, think about like I mean, it's such a silly thing. I don't know. It's silly, but I was like,
It's not
okay, well, if
silly.
she ever goes to like Roaring Springs or some big like
I
water
think it's
park
awesome that
or
you think
pool,
about that because I would have never thought about that.
yeah, it's like something easily to spot. But yet, like a lot of people like with little kids like have like the blue, but then it's like easily blended in. Like if they were drowning or something, you wouldn't be able to see them under the water as easily as a brightly colored swimsuit.
Dude, imagine that lifeguard. They're like, "What color suit were they wearing? Blue." Ah, well, sorry, buddy.
Well, yeah, I
Maybe
don't.
next time don't wear blue.
Yeah, next time don't dress your kid in blue. Just
They just send an email out. There's nothing that could be done. Sorry, buddy.
I know. As I'm like, she can't wear blue or purple. And there's another color because I saw them all like underwater, like with like light. And I can't remember what the other one was, but I was kind of like thrown off. I was like, oh, you can't see that one, but I don't know. I'll have
Like
to
a
look at it.
green, maybe.
Maybe I think green was surprisingly. I was like, oh, I can. I want to say it was like pink or something, like something kind of. I was a little thrown off by it. I just didn't. I just didn't think. But I think it's like reds and oranges are the best, or maybe it was. I can't remember. But either way,
That would make sense. That
yeah.
would make sense.
But either way, you would want something, because if your kid is drowning, then you can see it better. Like if they're under the water.
I feel like this really makes more sense in like
Ocean.
an ocean or like even a lake. You know, where the water's
Well,
not
think about
perfectly
where we're.
blue.
Well,
Like,
we're in a lake where you have lakes,
yeah, that's true. But
so.
she ain't swimming in any of the lakes here. Lake Lowell,
No, I
hell
mean,
no.
yeah, no, definitely not Lake Lowell. I mean, we have what Cascade. I'm guessing Cascade she'll swim in at one point.
Yeah, I still don't like it.
I don't, especially earlier in the season, yes.
Oh, dude, I get the creepy crawlies, bruh. I
Well,
wonder if there's
oh
any
my gosh,
lore around Lake Cascade.
Bella was telling me, my cousin was telling me, Aunt Susie and Bill, my aunt and uncle, all said that there's a town under Lake Cascade.
They did tell me that too.
Maybe, maybe that's what I'll do. I'm gonna write it down. Lake Cascade.
Is that? I don't know if is it true.
I don't know. I mean, we could just get some mind set right now.
All right, we're gonna look it
Okay,
up.
I'm just gonna look it up real quick because then if it is, we definitely are gonna do it.
Okay, we're gonna.
Because what Lake Cascade? Okay, so I'm looking at this, and so there is technically 3 towns.
Under Lake Cascade?
So I don't know if there's actual buildings, but it says what's under Lake Cascade: 3 towns and an old highway.
What?
Yeah. So it looks like, yeah, like kind of.
An old highway?
So yeah, it was completely okay. Yeah, we'll have to recover it because yeah, it was completely submerged in 1957. So not even
Whoa,
like super long
dude,
ago,
I am what?
dude. And the whole highway, people have pictures of it. Isn't that crazy?
Dude,
That is
what?
so cool.
There's a whole highway under there. 3 different towns?
Yeah, technically 3 different towns go under it. I mean,
Bro, is there any no buildings?
no, I mean it said that because Van Wyck is the town that's like, if you look right there, it's at the bottom, kind of bottom, but it's in the middle. These other 2 are like kind of closer to the edge up at the top.
Okay.
But Van Wyck was established in 1882, a bustling town, and
A bustling town.
a bustling
In
town.
1882.
But they had a store and a post office. and then it was covered. So yeah, it said it was small, but it had a store and a post office, and 2 miles from the center. Oh, Arlington. Arlington had the post office and store. But yeah, it sounds like there is a couple. If anything, it doesn't say anything about being turned down, but I'll have to look. Maybe I'll just look into that one.
I think we briefly touch it because
Yeah,
I mean, if we have all the information we need, how deep is Lake Cascade?
I don't know. I'll look it. You're gonna have to come back for that one.
I'm
I'm
gonna have
gonna
to.
look it up. I'll add it in my thing. Maybe I'll just do it on Lake Cascade. See what we got there.
Okay. Also, at the same time, you should do
Seven
American Falls
Devils.
Reservoir
Okay.
because
We'll do Lake Cascade and American Falls.
there's a town under there, or
Well, I'll just
there's
look up.
like part of the town under it. Because I remember when I went to go visit some of my friends,
Mhm.
there's a silo sticking up out of the water.
Dude. And then they were like, "Yeah, that's just
Yeah,
somebody's
it's like
house."
normal. Like
Huh.
depending on the water level, sometimes it's fully submerged. But when I went, it was like this silo sticking up out of the water.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
Dude, water is scary though. I think water with a lot of lore is just super scary because we won't ever know all of it. But yeah. Okay, well, anyways, I guess we've kind of trailed off enough. Get it trailed. Leaks. I don't know.
I'm so curious about this leak. I want to know
Well, you
if
gotta.
there's still buildings under there.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up. Something new. We always gotta find something new.
You're
We have
right.
plenty of stuff we can look up.
You're right. You're
So,
right. All right.
but anyways, we got some water babies. Penny for your thoughts. Just, I thought it was brief, but kind of a broad kind of subject that was interesting.
Very cool. Well, we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.